Welcome back, anime lovers, to my final lesson for this My Hero Academia review series. Before I get into the lesson for today, I would like to say that it's been a pleasure reviewing one of my favorite animes of all time for you guys, but honestly, there are so many times where I've struggled with getting motivated to continue reviewing this anime, and there are also so many times where I just wanted to give up. Somehow though, I managed to push through, and now I'm just glad that it's almost over so that I can put my energy into something that I can actually not dread doing every single week. Not everything about starting this review series was bad though. Looking back, I'm glad that I actually went through with this idea because I've learned a lot of lessons about perseverance and discipline, but also that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, the YouTube algorithm can still work against you and just be a mysterious nothing that a glass of grape juice can't cure though. However, as much as it pains me to say this, I will probably not be doing a review series like this for a while since it did so terribly on this channel. But if you were one of the few who managed to stick through with this series with me, then I would like to give my sincerest thanks for your support. So, for my final lesson, I want to take a closer look at Gentle and Brava and talk about how they were used during the school festival arc. Although their presence as the next threat for Midoriya to overcome was certainly brief, the little time they had to impress us when they did show up still managed to feel meaningful. It just goes to show that My Hero Academia has pretty much figured out how to create great villains. So, how about we dissect this formula by taking a look at how it was used on Gentle and Brava.
はじめましてリスナー諸君。そう、私はジェントルクリミナル。今を嘆く者たちよ、私を信じてついてこい。私が世界を変えてやる。
そんな時に出会ったの。あなたという光に。
Although Gentle and Brava are far from being the best villains to come out of My Hero Academia, in my opinion, I can't help but feel like their inclusion into the school festival arc was still fascinating since they were quite different from a lot of the villains we've seen so far. As I reflect back on villains from the past, a lot of them had pretty lofty goals, such as All for One wanting world domination, Stain wanting to take out people who weren't true heroes, and even Overhaul who wanted to restore the Yakuza back to his former glory. However, when it came to Gentle and Brava, the only thing they really wanted was to be noticed, even if it meant that they had to do some bad things to get it. Now, while they always tried to avoid violence whenever possible, it was quite interesting to me how formidable their resolve was to accomplish such a shallow goal. Even Midoriya acknowledged them as one of the toughest opponents he's faced so far after he managed to stop them. You see, what I love about these two characters was that instead of stopping short at presenting their goals and making these new villains just seem like a huge nuisance for Midoriya to overcome yet again, this anime goes deeper and shows us why Gentle and Brava were so hell-bent on trying to get into the school festival, even if they weren't planning on hurting anybody. In my last lesson, I talked about how much I love Gentle and Brava because of their humorous demeanor, which fits quite well for this particular arc. What I was not expecting though was for them to become more well-rounded as villains when it came to encountering someone like Midoriya who posed as a serious roadblock to the one time they thought that they could feasibly reach their goals. With the way that I'm describing them, it almost sounds like they could have been the heroes of this arc as well, which is exactly why I think their inclusions as villains was not meaningless at all. You see, Gentle and Brava presented an interesting parallel of paths that Midoriya was going through during this whole season. When Gentle Criminal and Deku were fighting each other, we learned that Gentle was also a student of UA in the past and had tried many times to get his provisional license but failed every single time. When Gentle was a student, we could see that he had the right attitude and resolve to become a pro hero, but only lacked the necessary skills to make it as one. However, when Gentle made a horrible mistake that cost him everything that he had worked so hard for up until that point, this is when Gentle decided to turn his back on his dream of wanting to become a hero to instead walking down the path of a criminal. As for Brava, her story was surprisingly touching as we learned that she became Gentle's sidekick when she was one of his only fans to notice his hard work online and wanted to help him achieve his dreams of becoming a legend. What's even more heartfelt about this duo was the fact that Brava was in a dark place when she met Gentle, and so working together created this special bond between them that made Gentle realize when he was fighting Deku that Brava's love for him was what he was searching for this whole time, and that even if he never got the chance to achieve his dreams, at least he managed to save her. Midoriya, on the other hand, managed to save Eri after going through so much hardship to find her and having a life-changing battle against Overhaul. Although he could empathize with Gentle's ambitious nature to achieve his dreams, Midoriya also had people who was counting on him to not let any possible threats ruin the school festival or Eri's chance at experiencing a normal life. Gentle Criminal is basically a tragic example of not only the bleak reality of most people who try to make it as a hero in this world, but also served as a mirror for Midoriya of what could have been a possible outcome had he not had the support of special people who believed in him and his dreams. While I was glad to see that Gentle was stopped from breaking into the school festival, I couldn't help but feel sorry for him because we saw how much Brava cared about him when the fight was over, and the fact that all Gentle wanted was not to be forgotten, which became the most heartbreaking realization of this character for me. However, no matter if what Gentle was doing was actually that bad or not compared to other villains, the fact of the matter is that he chose to keep doing these criminal acts, and that's what's really kept him from possibly turning his life around and becoming a true hero like Midoriya. With that said, I want to thank you guys once again for attending these lessons and allowing me to gush about one of my favorite anime shows of all time. Creating this review series may have been a huge pain in the ass, but I'm glad that I stuck with it because it gave me time to improve my skills as a reviewer and gave me a better idea of the direction I want to take this channel. However, there is one more thing that you guys still need to do before this lesson is really over. I've said in the past couple of videos that there would be a quiz at the end of this review series to test your knowledge of what makes a good anime. So, since we finally made it to the end, how about we start that quiz right now? If you've been paying attention to this series, then you should know that I have a couple of rules when it comes to how I review an anime. So, for this quiz, I want you guys to write your answers in the comments below. For this one question quiz, I want you guys to name at least one rule I've talked about during this review series that makes a good anime. After you're done writing your comments and you've enjoyed watching this review series, then please do me a favor and leave a like on this video, and if you want to see what I'm going to be doing next, then go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Speaking of which, next time there will be a final review where everything I've talked about so far about My Hero Academia will be encapsulated into one video, so stay tuned for that. With that said, thank you guys so much for watching this review series, and hopefully I will see you guys later.